Inside of today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to get masteries as quickly and as efficiently as possible for your favorite brawlers. As you guys can see, I'm already pretty close to getting mastery Pam, so I've got a lot of tips and advice to give you guys. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Okay, so jumping into our first few points then. With first one, we have that 3v3 modes is going to be the best to push for your masteries. Of course, Showdown, a lot of you guys probably will stick towards that, but I think Showdown more than ever right now has just got so much teaming. Tried it a few times and it's just disgusting how much teaming it is, so it's not really reliable for me, and especially to improve your skills and to fully actually master your brawler. So not only in terms of getting title but learning everything about it, I think it's pretty vital to play 3v3 modes, but also it's just a lot more bulletproof. So the best thing to do when pushing your brawler, of course, you want to be playing with people you know. If you don't have a lot of people online, which of course, you know, sometimes for me I don't either, is to play with randoms. But then of course, if you find a good random, make sure you add them. Of course, you don't want to be adding literally everyone. If you find a good random, make sure you get them on your friends list as quickly as possible, because then you can start building a friendship and start pushing together and more efficiently. It's never good to play with randoms 24/7. You know, you'll always get that bad random that's like a Mortis or something like that. So making sure you're trying to play with a team as much as possible. But another good thing to note is, of course, you want to be pushing as well with brawlers that synergize really well with you. So for me, I'm going with Pam. You know, really there isn't a lot that completely synergizes with Pam. You know, Pam's just good with everything. So for me, it's been pretty easy in a sense. Like, I'll just play with pretty much anyone because I can play as a lane or a mid. But you know, for some brawlers, for example, I don't know, like well, not even like a max, like a thrower. For example, you've got a thrower in your composition. You want to be making sure that you've got all bases covered. So you want to be making sure that you've got like a tank counter out there, because of course throwers are pretty vulnerable to tanks a lot of the times. And then you want to be making sure you've got a pretty solid mid. So in this meta, you know, pretty much B is used everywhere. B is a pretty easy brawler to master so far. So if you want someone which is literally bulletproof, you can play everywhere. B is probably the easiest master you could probably get right now. But yeah, just making sure you've got that bulletproof composition all around, because again, it is ladder and you don't know what you're facing off against. So you want to be giving yourself the best of chances to win the match. So moving into the next few points, we have the best optimal trophies to push masteries as quickly as possible. Not only that, the game modes and stuff like that. So if you guys want, I can soon make a video on all the best game modes to play every single brawler, just because that's of course going to help you push even more efficiently. But the best trophy range for me personally, after trying a bunch of different ones, I think the most consistent trophy range has to be in around 800 to 1,000 trophies, because after like 1,050 trophies, I know a lot of you guys probably aren't going to be pushing above that, but the matchmaking just gets incredibly long and it's just not worth it. I've just been pushing so much quicker around 800 to 1,000. So of course, you want to be making sure that you don't want to get the longest of matchmaking times. So as soon as your matchmaking goes too long, you probably want to try and tilt probably in Showdown or whatever else, because it's just not efficient. Because 6,000 mastery points, for me, it's took about 5 to 6 hours. Of course, a lot of you guys aren't going to have that spare time. You know, this is literally my job. I've got nothing better to do than to grind Brawl Stars in the morning. So, of course, for me, I'm going to hit in the max mastery points no matter what. But the quickest definitely has been around about trophy range, unless you want to go for a rank 35 as well. You know, if you're casually pushing, you're not, of course, reaching max masteries every single day, then I won't really worry about tilting too much, because you probably eventually reach your threshold, or you'll just get to rank 35, which to me is not really an achievement. Well, not really an achievement. Like, I've already got rank 35 Pam, for example, so I don't really want to be pushing rank 35 Pam again. So that is the optimal trophy range. Again, the best game modes for me have to be Brawl, because of matchmaking time. The most all the players are playing Brawl, especially randoms, they're going to be playing Brawl the most. So that's the game mode with the quickest matchmaking time. But of course, you've got a certain brawler which is exceptionally strong in a certain mode. You know, for example, in Heist, you know, Tank's going to be a little bit better in terms of Hot Zone. You know, Lou's going to be a little bit better there. You know, Pam as well, better in Hot Zone. So I'll probably will opt to play Hot Zone a little bit more most of the times, just trying to get the best win rate as much as possible. Thing I can't help you with, though, is how good your brawler is in the meta. You know, for example, if you're going for the mastery with Edgar, you know, Edgar's really bad in the meta, so it's going to be really hard to get a good win rate. If anything, you just got to make sure that your teammates are playing the most meta brawlers possible to perhaps carry you to the victory, because, you know, Edgar isn't really going to be carrying a lot. So moving on to the final few points then. So the big one that's really helped me push masteries as much as possible, may seem a little bit obvious, but try and get star player as much as possible. So whether that's depending on your brawler class, you know, for example, you know, tanks or high damage dealers are probably going to get star player a lot more. Star player definitely helps me with my progression a lot, because I believe it's around 15% to 20% of your mastery points. So for the most part, I'll earn about 80 mastery points for every single win. I'll get an additional, I think, 16 mastery points for every single time I get star player. And I actually get star player quite a fair bit with Pam, because with Pam, my play style is extremely aggressive. You know, you don't want to be on the back foot with Pam. You got to make sure you're being so aggressive in people's faces and removing their ammo with the gadgets. So I get star player quite a fair bit, so it's definitely helped me in my progression. You know, sometimes it can take a lot longer if I'm not getting star player quite consistently. So that's why I probably go for the more tankier brawlers. You know, like even Edgar can be a high damage dealer a lot of times. You know, Buzz, the likes of even Primo can get a lot of damage on the field. Just make sure you're getting consistent damage as well. That's why, again, B is just so easy to get mastery right now, because not only is she like the best brawler in the game, but her damage dealt on the field is just insane. The constant 3Ks and constant slows, it's going to be really easy to get that star players. So another few tips as well, just on the fly, just so you guys know as well. On my second channel, I'm planning to basically every day, whether that's through Power League, whether that's through ladder, probably switch up every now and then, is just literally play the brawler and try and get as many mastery points as possible. But do this as a daily series, so you guys are kind of learning with me the best ways to push master, you know, the best maps to push a certain brawler. And then, of course, once I get that brawler to masteries, I'll be doing a video on the main channel, basically doing a brawler guide to hopefully further your understanding on how to play that brawler specifically. So Pam, I'm going to be getting mastery for Pam tomorrow, so I'll be doing basically a brawler guide on Pam tomorrow, giving you guys all the best tips, all the best ways to win your set matchup, the best maps, and the best ways to play Pam. So I hope you guys subscribe for that one, because as I said, I'll be doing it with every single brawler. So eventually I'll have a brawler guide for every single brawler. So I think you know, once I get this masteries with Pam, I would essentially literally mastered Pam. I would master the ways to play Pam perfectly. Alright guys, it's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. I know there actually isn't like a lot of solid tips to get masteries as quickly as possible, because in theory there actually really isn't. Like, you can't find like a glitch, you can't do map maker, you know, it's not like a damage quest or something. It's just straight wins. So for me, it's just trying to pair yourself as much as possible with players around you as just as good as you. But not only that, they've got to be using the meta brawlers if possible, so that you can just get as many consistent wins as possible. But as I said, I'll be getting to the mastery Pam by the beginning of tomorrow, so probably in about I'll say 16 hours time or something from when I upload this. But yeah, I'll be probably the first one to get your mom, and then I don't know what brawler to go for next, so let me know what one you want me to do after that one. But that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.